Welcome to Author's Focus. We're here today with Dr. Jack Lennoix, the author of Sufferings, an in-depth look at the eternal soul. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Jennifer. Glad to be here.
In your book, you describe several accounts of the transference of the human spirit. Can you tell us more about this theory?
Well, Jennifer, the human soul is a powerful life force that extends far beyond the limitations of the physical body. It's been the question of the ages as to what happens after we die. Is there a heaven? Does the soul merely transform into energy to continue the breathing life force? Have you heard of the belief of reincarnation?
Yes, I have.
And how would you summarize the concept of what you believe reincarnation to be?
The idea that after one's passing in this life, that they may return. I have read accounts of people returning as animals, trees. The stories all seem to focus on the transformation of the spirit from human form at the time of death.
What if I told you that I could prove to you today that the human spirit can return to this time, and that the returning soul can occupy the same space in a living body with that of another entity? I brought a special guest along with me today. This is Meghan Starr.
Hello, Meghan.
Meghan is a patient of mine who was referred by the Family Counseling Center of Oregon. Her parents had sought the advice of every professional therapist available over the past 5 years to try to determine the underlying causes of her psychological trauma.
One day a friend of mine came by to visit. She had been at the local bookstore and picked up a copy of Sufferings. She must have read no more than 10 pages before she knew this was the book for me.
We read Sufferings together, and at first we were in disagreement about meeting with Jack Lennoix. I'd read several articles in the media that alleged of subliminal suggestion or psychological manipulation of the mind. And each article that I read said the same thing, that these sort of doctors use psychotropic drugs to lure their patients into a point of vulnerability. And at that point, whatever they wish their patient to believe becomes reality. The methods described in the book were of strong concern to us.
Some of the methods described in his book did seem very radical. Lawrence was skeptical at first, but we agreed to meet with the doctor privately to discuss Meghan's case.
After consulting with her parents, I learned of her ongoing nightmares and violent episodes. After the first several sessions with Meghan, she had an episode in my office. She appears to be reliving the same traumatic experience that she describes in her nightmares, always recoiling in fear. Your spiritual journey is almost complete. The separation between your spirit and your physical body is taking you outside of your mind to look inside, as if you were watching your life from above the earth. As you return to the physical mantra, you will awaken and take your first breath in this life. Go inside, Meghan. Go inside the tunnel. Go inside to be born again. To be born again in this life. That's it. That's it, Meghan. You can do it. Meghan has something important that she wants to tell you.
Okay. Whenever you feel comfortable, Meghan.
My birth name is Meghan Starr. I was born January 27th, 1991. But now that I have awakened, I know I'm not alone. I am also Karen Walter, born July 7th, 1953. I was a barmaid at the Bridgeport Inn on 41st. I was 38 years old at the time of my death, on January 27th, 1991. It was unusually busy for a Thursday night. I made the last call for rounds, and the place began to let out pretty quickly at that time. Katie Olmsted was on shift with me. She was cleaning tables and shutting down equipment while I was doing drains on all the cash registers. There were perhaps 3 to 5 people left in the bar at that time, all of them male. Katie made the announcement that we were closed and ushered them out the door. I noticed out of the corner of my eye that she locked the door behind them, so I then took the money to my office to prepare the bank bags. There is no armored car pickup at the Bridgeport, which means that the closing supervisor needed to take the money to the bank deposit box after closing. With payday being Friday, I had both the cash pulls from bar sales and the employee payroll. All in all, I would say I was carrying about $2,300 that night. After Katie left, I made a phone call to my husband to let him know that I was on my way home and to microwave some spaghetti so it would be ready for me when I got there. I turned out the lights, locked the front door, and went out the back entrance into the alleyway. On any other night of the week, I would have exited from the front, but since Katie was not accompanying me at the deposits, I wanted to avoid drawing any attention to myself. I knew every bum in that alleyway. They'd be in the Bridgeport getting a beer any chance they could get, so I was not afraid to be in the alleyway alone. As I made my way through, a voice asked me for a cigarette. I could see in the shadows that he was well dressed, and he asked in a polite manner. As I reached for my case of menthols, I felt the first stab of the knife pierce into my skin. It felt warm at first, and then the pain went away after the first hit. As I saw his face more clearly, I felt the knife stab me a second time. But this time, I didn't feel anything other than a numbness through my entire body. I started to fall, and he caught me. Our eyes met very closely. He examined me for a moment with a grin. It was then that I was able to muster up enough strength to claw at his neck with my fingernails. As it went on, it was all very fast and blurry, but I think I may have gotten him pretty good. As I was clawing at his neck, he tried to stab me one last time, but I fought back. He cut me in the neck, but he stabbed me in such a way that I did not die that minute. As I fell to the ground, he took my money and ran off. I laid there, dying, praying for an end to it all. I lived for almost 15 minutes after the attack, paralyzed, unable to call for help. When I close my eyes, I can still see him, as clear as I see you now. He is David Dugan.